Hey, what is up guys? It's your boy Speed here, and today we're going to be looking at a very interesting player-hero combination. I was looking through Dota 2 Pro Tracker for an interesting video to make, something to talk about that's a little bit off meta, but Warden is a hero with a very high win rate on Dota buff, very high win rate. However, it's usually played as a core. But the hero honestly has a lot of potential as a support. It does a lot of magic damage, it can buy and be very useful with a lot of support items due to the fact that it doubles the items, it has good wave clear, it's good at scouting wards on hills by placing the spark rates, it's good at scouting smokes by using spark rates, it's good at setting up for tower pushes and defending tower pushes with spark rates and magnetic field. This hero has a lot of potential. Husky is one of the only people in Dota that I'm seeing right now playing Warden support, but he has won 5 of his 6 last matches, very impressive win rate, and you can see he's going some different builds. So we're going to be covering only one of the games here today, but you can see he went for an Atos into Shard into Pipe, then an Atos into Shard into Gleipnir. He then went for a Shard into Veil into Meteor Hammer build. I think that's partially because the enemy team gave up, right? So he bought the Meteor Hammer because I assume they were throning. Then from there he went a completely different route, when Solar Crest shreds Maelstrom into Gleipnir, going right click, and this is good for wave clear because the Maelstrom lets you kill waves. Then from there he went a Mana Boots into Solar Crest into Force Staff and Blade Mail. So there's so many different routes you can go. It's insane. Like, this hero has so much potential, and you can even end up scaling if you truly want, as you can see. So yeah. Alright, before we get into the main part of the video, I do want to let you guys know that I'm not only posting videos here on YouTube, I also frequently post videos on the website. If you don't know what I'm talking about, almost every single day I'm posting a new video to the Game League website. We're going to teach you guys in depth about how to get to the next level. So if you want to become absolutely broken, click the link down below and sign up. Let's talk about when and why to pick this hero, starting off with the side you are on. You should actually almost only pick Warden support if you are on Dire. Now that might seem insane, but let me quickly explain Warden support and why Dire Warden is really important. You'll notice he's on Dire this game. The reason why it's mostly important is because of Spark Wraith. How the hero works is when you're on Dire, you get the second Spark Wraith. What this one does is it activates after only 1 second instead of 2 seconds. It does less damage, but it slows. So basically it's almost guaranteed to hit if you put it directly on top of someone, and so you can actually use it as a reliable trading tool, right? Where the other one, there's a high chance you just can't actually use it. And so Radiant Warden is extremely suspect and way worse in the laning stage. Now in the laning stage, as you might imagine, you're going to use the E to harass your opponent, and it slightly slows them, so that should help you get a couple of auto attacks as well. From there, it's nothing special as they set up for a kill on Spectre here, and with a Blood Grenade and a Spark Wraith, they get the job done. Your hero has pretty decent stats. It has very good base strength, so it's pretty tanky. It has decent agility and decent int, so it can cast quite a lot of spells. The only downside is it's a slow ranged hero, so you have to be a little bit afraid of getting chased down by lanes with a lot of gap close and kill potential. Something like a Crystal Maiden CK, right, will be very threatening for Warden early on, and you need to be careful. In terms of the skill build and item build, it's very straightforward. I don't really need to spend time on it for you guys. It's just a bunch of stats. I honestly think the Circlet is a bit questionable, unless you're buying a Vessel, in which case then you should. I think it could just be a bunch of branches, Blood Grenades, 6 Tangos, a Salve if you needed to trade, Stick, obviously in a lane like Warlock Spectre, you pick up a Stick, and you just buy whatever's needed. You can see it ships out 3 more Tangos, ships out raindrops, just regen. The hero wants to spam the E. In terms of skill build, it's very simple. You're going to max Spark Wraith, right? This ability is your main harass tool, it's your main chip tool, it's your main scouting tool, it's your rune contest ability, right? It's the strong ability, right, on this hero. Something to note though is that some people would consider taking Flux at level 4. I honestly think it's kind of a good idea because Flux scales incredibly well. Like, everything about this ability scales well. However, he tends to put the point in bubble. He just likes having the value point, and it is a strong ability, right? It's not the best value point, but when you do have the Tempest double, getting this double bubble where one gives attack speed and the other one gives bonus range and bonus damage is impressive and honestly does feel powerful. So I can see why he goes 1-1-4. Now, one thing your hero is very good at is contesting the 6-mana runes and the bounty runes. It's also very good at contesting wisdom runes because you can set up the spark rates, so if someone tries to contest, you can bully them out. Now, we ended up getting to this rune late, but you can imagine what this would have looked like if he was a bit here earlier. He can scout the regen with the Spark Wraith, that gives vision, he could deny the rune, go to pick it up, whatever he needs to do, right? But it's very, right, the hero's very good at doing this. And then with the Warlock, he's able to kill him off. The early activation time of the Spark Wraith sets up for the Scythe, and they get the job done. Now from there, he takes a bit of an odd stance this game. I mean, I don't think it's bad. This hero is very hard to gank mid, right? He has raindrops, he's got boots now, pretty tanky hero, as I was mentioning. And you can obviously defend yourself with the Tempest Double and Magnetic Fields if you were to get canked. So yeah, he just ends up farming mid for a while, which is pretty reasonable, especially ever since they made it where it now deals 40% bonus damage to creeps. This is obviously really good, right? It's obviously really good because it's going to help you farm, neutrals, lane creeps, whatever, right? It's also easier just to secure creeps in the laning stage as a result of this change. So yeah, the hero's very good at farming. Now, next up, honestly, you would expect them to buy Mana Boots. Mana Boots are extremely good on this hero because you get double Mana Boots. It allows you to spam the heck out of Spark Raids. Also, you can note he took the Arcane Ring for the exact same reason. One little cool thing that he does as well is that if he wants to defend or help a side lane, you can just use a Tempest Double to do it. Yeah, it's a 70-second cooldown that, lasts for only 18 seconds, but at the end of the day, right, him sending this Illusion Top will help stall out this push, right? He brings the Illusion Top, brings the Tempest Top, and that's going to push away the Brute. I do wish he spammed his Wraith a bit more, like he doesn't use it as much as he should in my opinion, because it doesn't run out of mana. It's not tied to your hero's mana, so you should literally be button mashing it. Just like if you send it to a side lane or you're ganking or just trying to do whatever, just spam it as much as you can to get value out of the Tempest. But yeah, the enemy is never able to actually put any mid pressure as a result of what he's doing, and with the Spark Wraith giving vision, he actually feels pretty comfortable hitting the tower here and gets really good damage on the mid tower. And yeah, your hero's just great at area control, so doing things like pushing towers like this is something Warden is fantastic at. And yeah, with the raindrops and wand, Zeus can never really threaten him, and he's even able to scare off the Zeus and force him into the slaughter, right? And it's really easy to do this because your hero 1v1s most heroes incredibly well. He also drops down both of the bubbles here, which is a little bit weird. One of them gives attack speed, one of them gives attack range and attack bonus. Both give evasion if the enemy is outside of the bubble. That's how it works. But yeah, you just keep spamming Spark Wraiths. Hero does require a little bit of micro, you gotta keep that in mind, but the execution is generally pretty simple. From max range, you just spam Spark Wraiths. As a support, you can attack a little bit, like auto attack a little bit, but for the most part, just focus on spamming Spark Wraiths and Flux, and then getting off a good magnetic field. Now at this point in the game, his team is absolutely owning. This is definitely a match where things are going incredibly well, but still, notice how he plays. So first off, he's going to easily bully out this Willow, and this is what's so strong. Even if, let's say, he was the same level as Willow, he was level 6, it would still end up the same way. It'd be very easy to bully this guy out. And so that's why you can control lanes as this hero. Even as a support, you're going to bully out most carries. You could sit in the side lane and just spam Spark Wraiths with your double and your Flux and just bully them out. People just can't sustain it, especially if you're dire, right? Because if you're dire, your Spark Wraith will very frequently hit. Right, so this is once again why it's important to pick this hero on Dire. If you're on Radiant, it's honestly much harder to harass. You basically have to wait for your Tempest Double to come up before you can consistently do it. But yeah, it goes on the Willow, has double Atos, right? So it doesn't even have to expend his real hero's Atos to kill the Willow. And if there was another target in the area, it's a very easy follow-up Atos. One thing that's really nice about Warden support as well is the hero's ability to farm. Right? If the game slows down, well, the hero's a core for a reason. It farms really fast. And that's the nice thing about these core heroes that can be played support. Usually, it allows you in games that slow down to just have the option to do this, right? You pop both of the bubbles. Now, when you pop the bubbles, both of you are hitting for a bonus 40 with a bonus 60 attack speed. I mean, you hit insanely hard. And he doesn't even have an extra bonus damage like neutral item, like some Vambrace to make him hit harder. But yeah, you farm really fast, right? These Spark Wraiths, ever since the buff, just like annihilate creeps. You can see these creeps just explode. And you don't have mana problems, right? Just because of the fact that the mana boots are doubled, you just do not have mana problems. All right, now finally we get to the Giga timing of the heroes. So he doesn't have a shard yet, which I do want to talk about in a little bit because it's pretty cool. But what's really interesting about what he does here is you can double pop the pipe, right? So obviously you don't just get like double magic resist, that's not how it works. But you do get the 450 barrier, which is insanely good, right? In a game like this where you have a Radiance, obviously Warlock, Zeus most importantly, you are completely neutering him. It's so good to have this double pipe. It's so useful. I honestly think his next item should just be Glimmer, right? You can Glimmer your Luna, let that run out, pipe her, pop your ulti, Glimmer her, pipe her again, and then if you have your shard, every time you put a magnetic field on an ally, they get 40% magic resist. Like, this Luna can just go high ground. In a game where Luna would never be able to go high ground, you just let her go high ground. Like here, I think he kind of wastes his pipe. It didn't hit the Luna, which I think it's the most important hero for him to hit because she's frontlining and gonna eat most of the Zeus nukes. But yeah, whatever, he just pops the second one. Of course, you should try to like space them out and layer them a bit. Don't just try to like click them at the same time. They do not stack. Yeah, like here, he kind of doesn't get value out of it, so I really dislike how he used the pipe here, but yeah, you can see the value, right? Unfortunately now at this point, I mean, all you do when you're going high ground, just keep spamming the raids, put down the bubble on top of people, try to make sure they're actually inside of it. Like in this clip here, that would have been nice if she was inside of it. But then yeah, just keep spamming your E, right? Obviously you're gonna have a bit of mana problems if you do this, even with mana boots, because the Atos cost mana, the pipe cost mana, but still, you can kind of get away with it. All right, this clip's funny. I mean, I just want to show you guys. So the slaughter here does have a pipe, so you got to keep that in mind, because obviously when you double bubble, it gives 80% magic resist, but they don't just get 80%, right? It doesn't stack like that. The more magic resist you have, the worse it stacks. That's how it works. He has the pipe magic resist. He has like his natural magic resist. But then with these bubbles, they both give 40% technically. Yeah, I mean, it's just ridiculous. Like hovering over his slaughter and seeing him have 82% magic resist is just like really funny. He's just invincible. Yeah, I really like his items at this point. Like the Psychic Headband is such a good item on this hero because being able to spam spark rates just gives your team so much vision and information, right? Let's say you're taking Roche, right? You can just spam them on the hill, this hill, this hill. You can put them in the Roche pit to scout if the enemy team is doing it. If you're going high ground, you want to put them in this tree line, you want to put them here. Just give your team vision, right? Basically tell your team exactly where the enemies are. It's obscenely useful now. Gets a little bit stuck here, and I will admit, he ends up queuing up a Gleipnir. Guys, I think you should just spam utility. Like, yes, there's some value in like scaling and being able to, when you have Gleipnir, you can TP the clone around the map and clear waves, but you could buy like an axe, right, too? It causes a spark rate to spawn a new spark rate after impacting an enemy. You can just button mash these spark rates, and if people get hit by them, you get more spark rates. So you can go Aether into axe and just spam spark rates. You can go 4-stab, double glimmer, like Aether Glimmer, and just be able to glimmer people from far away and put down these spark rates that are going to cancel everyone's blinks from like a mile away due to the Aether Lens and the Psychic Headband. Like, there's so much potential in this hero. You can see it's just useful, right? That's why it's good. And I want to make it very clear that this is not some meme. This is not me just making this for the sake of the video. It was something I mean I've heard about and thought about for a long time. Like, I've heard about it from tons of different people. Like, this is something I've actually heard probably 4 or 5 people tell me that this is good, and I see Husky owning on. I'm like, okay, you know, there's probably something here. So I took a look, and I mean, he's won 5 out of 6 games, and I watched multiple of the games. It looked good in all of the games. Like, he was doing so much damage. And I bet if we look at the damage stat here, I mean, his number is probably insanely high. This hero pumps damage. Yeah, he's at 13k, right? Very high damage number, pretty comparable to his Luna, which is funny. But right, thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed, hopefully you're inspired, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.
And that's all, but remember, before you leave, come on, before you tune out, subscribe to the Game Leap website where we are going to help you get to the next rank. If you're stuck, click the link down below, and I'm out. Peace.